everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have read and enjoyed. It's not a recent read this time. I read this book when it was released in 2024. It was released in August 2024, and I read it around August September of last year. But the guest and I were not able to schedule this author collaborative because our schedules were not matching. Now she is going to be here on the episode, in today's episode. This is not the first time that she's coming on the show. In fact, she's been on the show twice before. No, actually 3 times before. This is the fourth time that she's coming on the show with her fourth book. So she has been on the show with all her books, and I'm really excited to talk to her. Do stay connected. Her name is Smita Das Jain, and the book that we are going to talk about is Till Fate Do Us Part. It's a medical fiction book, and we are going to discuss this book with her and how she went about weaving the characters and framing the story. Do stay connected. I'm just going to add her here and see if she can join me. Let us also wait for a few more people to join us. Hi, Sakshi. I'm waiting for my guest to begin the episode. My guest for today is Smita Das Jain, and we are going to talk about her latest medical fiction, Till Fate Do Us Part. It's her fourth book, and she's been on the show before. This is in fact, the fourth time that she's coming here. Hi, Nilshri. Thank you for joining. I'm waiting for Smita, who's today's guest, to join us. I don't know if she is here. No, she's not here yet. Let me just send her an invitation again. Hi, Twin Vibes. Okay, Smita is unable to join. Let me see what's the issue. Hi, Namzi Raj. Thank you. Thank you for reading my book and reviewing it. I hope you loved it. Oh, thank you. Very happy to hear that you loved it. Okay, Smita is here. Okay, Smita, I've sent you an invitation. See if you are able to accept it. Hey.
Hi, Manali. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It took a few attempts, right, for you to join.
It
Yes,
did
but
just
yeah.
as you want me it will. But glad that I joined finally.
Yes. So welcome to the Author Collaborative for the fourth time, right?
Mm. Yes, Manali. Thank you, and I hope you haven't lost your patience in having me for four
Not
years
at all.
straight now.
Not at all. In fact, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I always look forward to your releases, and then because the aftermath is this, that's the thing I look forward to more. Of course, I love your books, that also you know, but this is something I look forward to more, to having you again on the show.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. Yesterday, when I read the caption, when you sent that collaborative post, when you have mentioned that she's the one who has come for each of her books, and then I'm like, okay, it's been a long journey from where I started to where I am, and it also your consistency is pretty amazing. I mean,
Thank you.
I know that you have been doing it for 4 years straight, this collaborative, and I don't know for how many years before since you started it. But to
It's
keep on with
been,
it Friday after Friday, season after season, all those
thank you.
years, kudos to you, Manali.
Thank
And
you.
all
Thank
those
you so
books, of course. So writing reading, reviewing, and then having this collaborative. I mean, amazing, Manali, really.
So Devansh is also, I think he's talking about your book because he knows that I have just had my book. So I think he's talking about your book, saying that she has a new release already. Yes, it's been a while, Devansh. You are late actually. It came out in August 24th, so it's been a while that the book came out. Do check
Hmm.
it out. And since we are already on the topic, I'm just first going to show everyone the book cover. If you have it, please also show it.
Hmm. My book cover.
Yes. So this
Yes,
is
so
the book
here
that we are talking
is the
about,
book.
Till Fate
Yes.
Do Us Part. And it's a medical fiction book, drama, romance, a lot of things. But I have mentioned this in my review, and I also want to mention it again because it's one of the distinguishing features of the book. Not many Indian authors talk about special needs children, and you have managed to focus on that. And it's amazing the way you have written the character, and you have also shown the kind of struggles that the parents and the family go through when raising such a child. So that's the bit that I love the most. You have done it very sensitively. And the other part that I liked is how you always managed to put a female character who is all shades of gray, and then despite that I end up liking that character.
Thank you so much. Though shades of gray, I can understand that for Sonia, but Vedika, do you think she was shades of gray?
I don't know. I don't know. I have discussed the book with other readers, and I'm sure you have also read in the reviews that she's also a little bit of a problematic character for some readers.
Okay. I think
But
most of
I
them
have always
actually
loved that.
empathized with her. But see, every character, every human being has shades of gray. So I'm not surprised if you think that Vedika has shades of gray. And I just see Varunika has joined us. Hi, Varunika. Good to see you here. I don't know whether you know Varunika or not. Probably she would have also come to your collaborative once.
No, she's
Once.
here. I'm hoping that she will come to the author collaborative. I've just reached out to her a few days back, so I'm hoping she will. Hi, Varunika. Please
Yeah.
respond to my request.
I'm sure she would be happy to.
Yes,
Okay.
and she's also a part of a blogging community that I'm a part of. She's also on Blog Chatter.
Oh, yeah,
So, yeah, I
yeah, I'm aware.
know also. I'm
Yeah.
acquainted, like,
Okay.
know her briefly.
Great.
Okay, so coming back to your fourth book, Till Fate Do Us Part, I was just talking about how much I liked it. And yes, the distinguishing feature is, of course, the special needs child. But the other three main characters, the one female lead and the two male leads, they are also like so interesting to read about because you empathize with them, and then you are also like, why are you the way you are? Yeah, I like that part also. Without further ado, I'm just going to read out one of my favorite parts from the book. I have annotated a lot. I mean, if I go to my highlights, it tells me that there are 100 plus highlights. So that should tell you how much I enjoyed the book.
Thank you. And it was one of your favorite books for 2024. So thank you
Yes,
for that because I know
yes.
you read a lot. But yeah, so this shows like this only reinforces the fact if there are so many annotations, it has to be. So
Yes, so I'm just going to start from the first chapter because I have, in fact, annotated from the first chapter itself. This is from page number 9.
mhm.
And I think this is the scene where they are taking the child to the hospital. I'm going to read out that part. Someone
Mhm.
first entering Medicare will be pardoned for thinking that they had arrived at a five-star hotel in the city. A fountain at the center, encompassed by plush sofas, flanked by coffee and tea corners, greeted them. Signposts directed patients to the admissions counter and the ground floor food court with equal prominence. The glass barriers enclosing various sections invoked images of corporate offices before the harsh reality of interacting with the ruthless admission staff on the opposite side sank in. Behind the veneer of glamour lurked a cutthroat workplace with no soul. Gaurang had been trying hard to maintain the principles he had promised to uphold since the day he joined the profession, something that was becoming increasingly difficult every day. The fact that he dealt with children kept him sane. For how long, he wondered. The sharp ring of the cell phone interrupted his solitude and came as a relief. It was much easier to deal with the patients, surgeries, and other day-to-day work that came his way rather than confront life's deeper quandaries. Mending a fractured bone for an 8-year-old was less daunting than seeking answers to the dilemmas plaguing his thoughts daily. It was best to stick to familiarity, his comfort zone. He picked up the call from a fellow doctor and was so engrossed in understanding the complicated procedure the latter was entailed in that he missed the knock on his door. Knock knock. The repeated tap was louder, compelling Dr. Gaurang to swivel his chair around. A pair of wide, expectant eyes greeted him, framed by the door's half open entrance. And there comes the heroine.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for reading that. And while you were reading, it's been some time since I've written it. And some of the lines, I was actually thinking, okay, I wrote that.
Yeah,
It
that happens
happens.
to me also. When somebody else reads out your work out loud, that too, it's
Yes.
like, oh my god, did I write that?
Yeah, I was thinking of it in a good way. So that is good. Usually I'm very critical of myself. But yeah, thank you for reading the book and thank you for liking it so much. And we are having this collaborative in 2025 because I was late. So you read my book. I took some time to read Heartstring and Harmonies. And in the meanwhile, you have had another book. So congratulations for that. I will read that too.
Yes,
But yeah, today is Embraces in Ink. See, I know the name also, and I will read that book. But
thank
yeah,
you so
today is
much.
about heartstrings and harmonies. So,
Yeah,
see, for
I'm
me,
just yes.
yeah, please,
Sorry.
please,
Sorry.
please.
I want to first focus on your book. That's why I'm cutting you off. I'm extremely sorry. I am very excited to talk about the book and ask you a few questions. That's why I want to get to the part that, I want to delve into the characters deeper and learn from you, the creator of this world.
Okay, so you
Okay.
are the host. I'm at your mercy. So, however, howsoever you want.
Yes. So I had a few questions related to. I was already mentioning that the female characters in your books, they are a little, they have characters, shades of gray, and they are very career oriented. They are very independent. So I wanted to ask you. I know with the readers I have discussed, and you must have also observed in the reviews. I'm not sure about this book, but the previous one definitely I feel that had a reviews coming in that the female was a little problematic. So I want to ask you, as the creator and creating such female characters, are you never in a fix about writing a character which can be perceived as unlikable or gray? Does that thought come to your head while weaving such a character or such characters, and how do you get over it, and where do you draw the line that this is something that the character would not do despite being flawed?
Okay. So, see, as far as creating the characters are concerned, I'm a very spontaneous writer. I write what comes in my heart and then in my mind. I think it's first the heart and then the mind. And uh, for me, I'm sure this is true for other writers also, but speaking for myself, I take inspiration from real life. Even when I write some historical fiction stories, there is some inspiration from real life that makes me think about that incident. So, one consistent feedback for all my books have been that my characters are very realistic.
Yes.
So that goes for my female characters also. They are realistic because the characteristics are drawn from real people.
Hmm.
And see, people do have shades of gray. No one is 100% perfect. And I do honestly believe no one is, 100% black either. There
Hmm.
is always that space. So for me, it is very natural if my character, unless I'm writing a fantasy or something, which I've written in short stories, but if I'm, writing something contemporary, and both my novels have been contemporary works, I will take inspiration from realistic characters.
Hmm.
And there are people like that. It does not, okay, first time when I wrote A Price to Love, since you mentioned that book, that was my first ever novel. In fact, I wrote the first draft of that before I came up with A Slice to Life, which was my first book. So there it was like pure organic. Okay, this is how real life characters are. I'm not saying all real life characters are like that, but some are certainly like that. And for me, while the character is fictional, the inspiration have come from various
Hmm.
places. So at that time, it never struck me actually that people may not like that character or not relate to that character. But then it also shows, right, that sometimes looking in the mirror may be a bit harder than watching
Yes.
something that is too Bollywoodish and too, fantastic. Uh, but by the time I wrote the draft of Till Fate Do Us Part, uh, I had also evolved as a writer, and as part of that evolution
Yes.
process, I also learned to take readers' feedback in mind because see, if we are launching our book and we want the book to be a success, one needs to be attuned to. So
Yes.
while my character was still realistic, between the first draft and the final draft, and when I say first to final, there would have been 5 to 6 iterations at the minimum,
Definitely.
probably more.
Yes.
So the characteristics of Vedika changed.
Oh.
And that is because of the feedback that I had gotten for Sonia's character,
Mm.
reading the reviews.
Mm.
So, while I didn't compromise on the essence,
Mm.
there are some details here and there that I did change because I would not say sensitive, I would just say that I was cognizant of readers'
Mm.
feedback.
Mm.
So that happens. But at the end of it, I am neither apologetic for Sonia nor for Vedika. It is, they are what they are. There are people in the world like that. And see, it's up to you. You form judgments. It's up
Mm.
to you whether you like them or hate them. But,
Yeah,
there are characters like that in the world. So at least don't
definitely.
pretend to be surprised that how come this is happening. And
Yes.
don't judge people for their actions. And here in this case, don't judge characters by their actions or the decisions they have taken because, what influences are working in someone's mind, you never know.
Mm.
Just look at the character from an empathetic perspective
Yes.
because, as tomorrow life situation may change and
Yeah.
something you can't imagine yourself doing, you may be doing certain things out of compulsion or out of force, who knows. So
Yes.
that's where I do think that especially Indian readers, um, especially I felt in Sonia's case they need to uh, demonstrate a little bit more empathy. I
Yeah.
would say that.
Yeah.
And try to understand that, again, nobody can be black completely, nobody can be white completely. We need to, as a reader, and I am saying for myself also, probably we need to accept a little bit of the gray.
Yes.
So for me, I am never afraid to put what I want to. I may adjust, but
Yeah.
then that is choice. That will never be by force. And yeah, if you don't like the character, you are always free to give the review that you want. I will
Yes.
respect that review. But and maybe it will influence my writing style. Like Till Fate Do Us Part was influenced by the reviews I got for Prize to Love. But again, that would be my choice to what
Yes.
extent I
Exactly.
choose to be influenced. So that's how it is.
Lovely. And you've made a very important point here, something that I also want to highlight on that as creators of this world, a fictional world, we are, of course, reflecting a part of the society. And some people are not able to accept it. As you said, looking in the mirror is not a very comfortable experience for many readers, probably. That's why they are not able to accept it. And I also feel that it is our responsibility to hold that mirror up. And we don't need to
Yes.
always pay heed to people who are not liking those characters. Yes, of course, we can filter out based on what they are saying. Wonderfully put, Smita. And yes, I'm glad I asked this question because you also mentioned that you took the feedback for Sonia's character into account and then Vedika's characteristics changed, which is also a
Yes.
learning process for us.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's natural, right? I mean, reviews are there for a purpose. So
Yeah.
if as a reader, as a writer, if I am not learning from the reviews, then I am not doing justice to my craft. There is
Yeah.
no other way we can learn.
Exactly.
So I think if I'm writing exactly the same way that I was writing 4 years ago when I'm starting, then I'm not growing, and I'm here to grow.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have for any type of profession that you are in. I think growth mindset is very important, just as
yes,
it is in being an author. Which brings me to my next question. You have written an ESD character who forms the major crux of this story. I don't know if you are comfortable answering this, but I just wanted to put this out there. How much of it was inspired from your personal life? And again, where did you draw the line that, I don't want to put my own experiences into the story. I want to talk about other things also, or I want to fictionalize it also. And how was that received?
Okay, so how was the character received? I think universally everyone has liked the character
Yes.
of Samiksha.
Yeah.
So the character was received very well. Now, yes, coming to your question, how much of was it from real experience? So, uh, of all the books I have written, this is the only one which has come closest to some of the real experiences. In terms of the relationship between the mother and the child. So that part is, I would say, very real and realistic. The relationship that Vedika and Samiksha share, that's the relation I share with my daughter. Her name is Avantika. Now, for me, again, being a spontaneous writer, when I put the first draft, I didn't even know who the characters were. So it happened very organically when I started writing. A child came to the picture, and then, you never know what frame of mind I was in that time when I wrote the first draft. And I found myself writing about this. But while writing, I was fine. One, see, where caregiving for such people, it can get very lonely. So writing was a way of, also letting yourself out. So for
Yes.
me, it was very, very cathartic. And at the same time, while the incidents may not be real, the feelings that goes into it, some of the instances, the reaction, the way the child reacts, the way the mother calms the child when she has a meltdown, that, those were some real incidents that happens to me from, I would say week to week, month to month. Now it's like, uh, I've just got used to it. There is no other way anyway. So yeah, for me it was like very natural. It came, it was making sense in the story. I found the experience cathartic. And when I came back to the draft, like there's always a gap I give between the first draft and when I start editing, I still saw that it made perfect sense in the counter of things. So, I was again, there was no reason for me to change something and all. Drawing the lines, of course, I don't want to give any factual information.
Yeah.
So the age of the child is different, the description of the child is different. The description of the physical medical alignment, that is, of course, like different, a completely different set of things. And that is where I draw the line that uh, as far as me and my family is concerned, I would say it's okay, because even when I, give some information, nobody will come and sue me. But when, like, the outside, when there are outsiders involved, I'm very, very careful, because I don't want somebody to come, and it's wrong also without taking permission. You put that everything. So that I was very clear that okay, no real characters are going into my book, but the experiences that the mother and the child are sharing between them, I saw no reason not to take from my own experience. Anyway, as a writer, you have to be authentic.
Yeah.
What more way for me to be authentic that put my own experience? So at least for the ASD part in the book, I didn't do any new research because I've been living it for, my daughter is 14 and a half years. So I've been living this as a mother to a special needs child. I've been living this life for a 14 and a half years. So a lot of research went when she was diagnosed, and I was looking at how to take care, learning the ropes. So now I didn't do any further research. I'm like, it is as authentic as it can be. I can only do justice to it if I at least put my feelings out there. And in the process, shed light on some of the challenges both the special needs people and their caregivers also go through. And there have been reviews and there have been DMs where people have reached out, hey, I never knew about this neurological condition till I read about it in the book, and now I will read more about it. So those lines gave me immense happiness, because this is like autism spectrum disorder is also a condition that, only people who go through know what it is. Like before that, before my daughter was diagnosed, I didn't even know what that is. It was like, like Greek and Latin to me when the doctor first said, okay, here is what it is. So good that, now the position I'm in, I'm using the power of my pen to also shed light on these matters, which I think is important.
Yeah.
So yeah, drawing the line, give no factual information. Make sure that you are not alluding to real people who are not you. See, if
Uh,
I'm alluding to something of myself, I know it's okay. If I'm putting it out there, then I'm comfortable with it. But I can never be sure about other people.
correct.
So don't put other people under the hammer. Don't get yourself into trouble. But be authentic with your feelings. Whatever helps the feeling, whatever helps the book appear authentic.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderfully answered. And again, you put the same point that as authors, it is our responsibility to spread such messages, spread awareness about such things that people don't know much about. Wonderfully done. Okay, so that
Okay.
to
Oh,
the
huh.
end
So
of my
now I
yeah.
think you have
Now
spoken
it's yours.
enough about, yeah, till fate do us part. Now it's my turn. So Heartstring and Harmonies. I've been wanting to read it ever since it released. It's like I downloaded it also in November, but it's only like in December that I got a chance. And that too, I pushed myself because I had taken it, as my goal that I need to finish this book before 2025 comes and write a review. Because I love all your books,
Thank
all those that I have read since I have been reading. And, to me, if your book has come and I have not read it, it does, as a reader, it feels incomplete to me. So, what stuck me about heartstrings and harmonies is this idea is unique. Bollywood songs woven in a story, and then all the book itself, a complete book of 29 beautiful stories woven around songs. Now that is very, very unique. And the way, like, when I was reading the book, the lyrics and the English translation and the story around it, some of the songs actually, and I think you listen to a lot of songs. Some of the songs I hadn't heard, and I read about it in the book for the first time. And then I was like, okay, let me see which movie and all that is this from, because this song seems like new to me. So yeah, 29 short stories. To me, the book seems very intricately woven, and there is depth to the narration. There is also a bit of nostalgia that we feel towards the 80s and 90s. See, nowadays, Bollywood movies don't have that, depth and soul in their music. And maybe that's why, they are not doing well. So,
you. Yeah, could be, yes.
so for me, it was like very, very refreshing. The concept was unique. And the music only enhanced the emotional resonance of the entire book for me. Uh, the four sections that you have, like the romance, the hope, friendship, and revelation. So romance, anyway, I was expecting, because Bollywood songs we mostly associate with
Yeah,
romance.
romance.
Friendship also to a certain extent, but I was like pleasantly surprised with the hope and revelation sections. The fact that there were sections, especially revelation, in a book which has songs, and that just told me that music has a universal language. And this is another way. I mean, I think personally, as a writer, I have learned, like, I also listen to, or I used to listen to music. Nowadays, I have stopped, unfortunately. But, it never stuck me that I could write something with music interwoven, either at the start or something at the core. So for me, it was like really great learning, Manali, and kudos to you. That's what I think. If you write, uh, consistently, and you, I think, are practically coming out with two books every year. That's
Yeah.
what I have noticed. So you also, some people may think that we are out of ideas, but I personally think if we write more, we get more ideas, because we
Definitely,
develop
yes.
that muscle.
Yes.
So that just shows, I mean, you read a lot, you write, of course, to come out with two books a year, you must be writing a lot. So that just shows that, okay, the creativity that you have. So I
Thank
absolutely loved some of the stories. The rain goes pitter patter, and you know, I will. Okay, so now I think I've spoken about it enough. Let me read an excerpt from one of my favorite stories from your book, which is "Don't Go Just Yet." Okay, so since it's we are talking about harmonies, heartstrings and harmonies, so I think it's only fitting that we start from the beginning, because the song is there at the beginning.
you.
So okay, so हवा जरा महक तो ले, नजर जरा बहक तो ले, ये शाम ढले ढल तो ले जरा ये दिल संभल तो ले जरा. So for the benefit of our audience, I'll read the English translation also. Let the air get stagnant, at least divert your attention a bit. Let this evening fade away. Let this heart get a bit steady. Let me live a little longer. Let me take a sip of intoxication. And I purposely not read the Hindi part because I think I will not be able to read some of the words. So pardon me for that. My crooning continued for a few seconds before I realized Mohammed Rafi and Asha Bhosle had stopped filling my ears. Not for the first time, I understood why people's faces turned cringy around me when I sang. Smiling, I turned around to see what had caused a break in evening self-surrendering routine. Kritika, my wife, stood with the remote control in her hand. Why had she paused the song though? The reason could be anything, ranging from an impending tsunami to a cockroach sighting. One can never tell. Hey, ask any husband, and there I agree with you. Anyway, I looked at her inquiringly while she continued to stare at me again. It took me some time to apprehend that it wasn't just a stare. Oh, yeah, this was a glow. Impending tsunami it is then, I guess. I braced myself for the calamity while Kritika waved something around. My eyes fell on the document she was holding in her right hand, left one deftly still placed on her hip. Oops, busted. And now comes what has led to this stare. So, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I also absolutely loved writing this because this is generally how my husband and I are also with each other. We are pulling each other's legs, and he's constantly making jokes about my temper tantrums. So,
Oh, you have tantrums? You don't seem like it.
yeah. My husband would say, "Come live with her for a day."
Okay. So overall, I do think Heartstring and Harmonies is a delightful read that blends music and storytelling in a refreshing way. That's the way I looked at it. One view, and maybe I will ask your view, okay? Uh, so this book has 29 short stories.
Hmm, hmm,
Personally, as a
hmm,
reader, I feel that it was a bit more, maybe a slightly less would would just make me more focused. I would have read it at one go instead of
hmm,
taking two, three sittings that I took. But again, and it's, that's a very personal view. And
hmm.
I know that, as a writer, we should, I firmly believe we should go away what we believe in. That said, especially for short story collection, how did you arrive at the number of stories that book should have
Hmm.
generally? And second, in case for Heartstring and Harmonies, how did you arrive at those zeroed down on the 29 stories for?
Okay, I'm going to answer this in two parts. First, I'm going to go with the second question that you asked. How did I arrive at the number 29? Initially, the number was supposed to be 30. I wanted to put 30 stories for 30 days of the month. And while I was writing the stories, compiling them, I realized that the book was not going to end up releasing in a month which has 30 days. And that's how it changed to 29 because it released in February and it has 29
I
days.
see.
So that's how I came to that number. And answering your first part of the question, how do I decide the number of stories that I want to put in a short story collection? Like you, it has been a growth journey for me as an author. The very first book that I wrote, collection of short stories, it only had 8 short stories, and it was very thin. The general feedback that I got on it was that it ended before we could get into the essence of the stories, and we wanted more. And this kind of feedback actually continued for the next collection of stories that I put out 2 years after that, which was Under the Mistletoe and Other
Yeah.
Stories. And even in that, I got the feedback that we would have liked to read more stories because it was Christmas related and we are in the holiday mood. This ended very soon. We wanted more, the feeling of holidays and celebration more to go on. So I took that feedback into consideration and then I decided that I don't want to stick to 8 or 12. I want to go beyond this. And another reason for that also being that I have made this personal sort of goal in my head. I don't know whether it's, universal for all authors or whether it's agreeable to everyone or not. I have decided to at least put 100 plus pages in a book that I put out because that makes the reading wholesome, I feel. And that's
Okay.
again another reason that, I came up with the number and the number of pages. As I was compiling the book, I was constantly also looking at the number of pages that were adding on to the book. And then, once it crossed 100, I was like, okay, I can stop after a couple of stories now.
Okay. That's interesting. And yeah, as you rightly said, it's a growth journey. So, yeah, and that also tells me like I have a view, maybe the stories were just, one or two too many, but then you are saying that you got a feedback that the stories were less. So, as readers, we do have varying tastes, and it's very
Yeah,
difficult for a writer to cater to all. So, like,
yeah,
let's stick to what our heart says and let's stick to what we think
exactly.
is right.
So
So,
I took the feedback and I combined it with my own goal where I want to write 100 plus pages in a book.
yeah.
Win-win for both sides.
No, that makes sense. To me, it makes perfect logical sense that, hey, if that's the goal, that's the goal. I mean, that's not my personal goal, but when I have other personal goals, so I can understand. Like when you have a personal goal, you go as per that. Okay, so of the four sections in the book, romance, friendship, hope, and revelation, which one is your favorite section and why?
You're not talking about the section that I absolutely, it was a cathartic experience for me to write, which is love is life and beyond, where I'm talking about grief and where, there are characters who are going through the trauma or the grief or of losing a loved one and how they are dealing with life. I think that was the most challenging part and also the most, as I was saying, cathartic because uh, we have to accept the fact that life cannot stop after someone passes away. We have to, you know, it takes a while, and everyone's way of coping with grief is, of course, different. But there are some things that we can look forward to. There are some things which can help us move on or deal with the grief in a better way. And I think those stories are a good way of saying that, sending that message out. So I really like that part the most, and I enjoyed. I mean, not in a good sense that I enjoyed writing. It was challenging, but also cathartic.
Mhm. And was it also difficult to write this particular section?
Yeah, yeah.
Because, of course,
Yes, because in each story, I'm talking about somebody who's passing away. And of course, it's a constant reminder of how mortal we are, and also a reminder of how many people you have lost on your way in
it's
life.
okay. Yeah, I can understand. Like everyone, each one of us has to go through this experience, has gone through this experience. So, I can imagine if I put something like that, as in, something where it means like grief and moving on, it will be difficult for me. So I can imagine that how difficult it would be for you. But yeah, it's this is something that readers also relate to, I feel. So there's a quote I read long ago when I was a young child. I think it was by Shelley, that our sweetest songs are often those which remind us of the saddest thoughts.
Yes.
So that goes very well actually with because the theme of your book is harmony, and we are talking about this particular section, and which is like so song, saddest, and that will resonate actually the sweetest. So yeah, great. So for all those who have joined us, if you haven't picked up heartstrings and harmonies yet, please do that. It will be a unique experience for you.
I am just going to show the book cover. If you have it on your Kindle already, will it
Mm.
be
No,
possible
I
to?
actually unfortunately don't even, as in my Kindle is on my phone and I am interacting with you. So please, please, please take your
Yes.
time, and my apologies for that.
Yes, no problem. Because I don't have the book in my
Oh,
library, so
but
I'll
it's
have to borrow it first.
visible behind you. So people, if you're
Oh
seeing
yes,
Manali, yes,
yeah.
yes,
I
it's
mean,
first
it is kind
from
of busy.
the, no, second from the right of Manali is
Yes.
heartstrings and harmony. So it's visible there.
but we will show the cover
Yes,
from up close.
yes.
This is the book that we are talking about, Heartstrings and Harmonies. I'm extremely sorry I didn't have it in my library, so I had to borrow it to show to everyone.
No
Yes. So
worries. Great
go ahead
then.
and check it on both of our books, actually, in fact, are also available on Kindle Unlimited. So you don't really need to spend if you have the subscription. Go and check them out on Amazon.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now we come to my favorite part of the episode, which is the rapid fire round. Smita, we'll do back and forth. One question I ask, one question you ask.
Okay,
Okay. So my
sure.
first question to you. There are two male characters in this book. So I want to know, Rohan or Gaurang, the better man in your opinion, and why?
Mm. So I would say Gaurang. The reason is he is demonstrating empathy without any ulterior purpose. Like for
Mm,
Rohan, there is a relationship he shared with Vedika.
mm, mm,
Initially, the empathy he showed with Vedika and with Samiksha throughout, there was no relationship,
mm.
right? Still, to demonstrate that behavior he did, I would definitely rate him better character between the two.
Okay.
Okay, so now my turn.
Hmm.
You have written so many books. Which one of your books did you take, or rather, what was the maximum time that you took to write a book, and how many days, and which one was that?
Oh, damn. So I, because I was not doing it consciously, I would say the first book, because it took a while to come up with the decision to compile it into a poetry book and, take the decision of becoming an author, going through the process of then compiling the poems I had written since I was a teenager. So I would say from teenage till the time I published the first book at the age of 27, that would be the longest, right? Because I was writing it for so many years. So yeah, over a decade for the first book. But later on, it became like a very conscious thing that I was doing. That I'm writing something that might get published in a book later on. So it became like, yes, this is someday going to become a book.
Okay. A decade. You have been very, I would say, patient. I would say, I would like give up if it would have been, something will take so long to
But
write. So kudos
I
to
was
you
not
once again.
consciously
Understood.
writing it for the book. Yeah, and also it was a learning process later on because my first book was a poetry collection, but it didn't have anything. It was everything and anything, and of course it was liked and it is still liked, but I realized that it has to have a theme, which later on became a part of all my poetry books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Hmm. So
Yes,
learning.
my
Yes,
next
your turn
question.
now. Hmm.
Yes, my next question to you, Sonia or Vedika, who would you never befriend and why?
Oh, I would befriend both of them. So that is the honest answer. But if I have to pick one, which one would I? Since, okay, so if it's a choice between the two, then I will not befriend Vedika because I know there will be few people who would befriend Sonia. So she
Ah,
would need more friends. So I would rather befriend her. So that's the thing. But
nice.
otherwise, I would like to be friends with both of them for sure. Okay. So
Okay,
now
your turn.
my turn. Yeah. So Heartstring and Harmonies is all about songs and all, and you have put many songs in the book. Which one is your favorite Bollywood song, and why do you think it strikes a chord with you?
Okay, from the collection there are many, but one particular song that I really like and go back to repeatedly is "Ye Moh Moh Ke Dhage." Absolutely would be in my top 10 favorites of all time. But another song which is not a part of the collection and something I realized after I put out the book is Mitwa from Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. I would have loved to put that song into the book, and now it's just a regret I will have for lifetime, I guess.
Oh no, you can come out with a Heartstrings and Harmonies part 2. Anyway, Bollywood is only coming out with sequels. So this is Bollywoodish team. You can come out with part
Yeah.
2, part 3,
Yeah,
part 4. So yeah,
that's true.
great.
Never say never.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm. Okay,
Okay,
your
my
turn.
next question.
Yes.
Yes. If Rohan, Gaurang, Rishabh, and Sameep form a group, what do you think they'll talk about?
Oh, that's easy. They will talk about Vedika and Sonia. Then men form a group. So, and I'm assuming, if four men gathered together, it has to be like a casual interaction over a drinks or a smoke. Since none of these characters smoke, it would be over drinks probably. And then they will discuss things that are most closest to their heart, which is going to be Sonia and Vedika. That's for sure. Okay.
True. Okay, your turn.
Yes. So, you mentioned you love Till Fate Do Us Part. Which is your favorite character from the book and why?
Very easy. Korang. I mean, I would love to have a doctor like that. It's a shame that he only caters to kids, but otherwise I would have consulted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most understanding and, as you were mentioning, very empathetic without being so obvious. He has I think he would also make a very good therapist. He should consider that line also.
Maybe in some sequel if it ever comes to that. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So,
my next
great. Your
question.
turn. Yeah.
Yes. So you've read Heartstrings and Harmonies. I want to know one song that you would like to add to the collection, and what kind of tale would you weave around it?
Okay. So, I will take a reasonably recent movie. The song is from the movie MS Dhoni. कौन तुझे यूं प्यार करेगा
Right. Yeah.
जैसा मैं तुम्हें करती हूँ. So I think I would like that to be a part of the collection. The theme that I would have woven around the song, or would like you to weave around the song if you consider, would be that of unrequited love, because that goes with the song. Though in the movie the song is not, I mean the theme is not unrequited, but here I would like it to play around that. That the either the hero or the heroine, she is loving the male character, or the other way around from a distance. So the person does not really know that this is the feeling that this other person is having, and what becomes of that. And especially because I write spontaneously, I would be very keen to see ki milte hai ki is it like again that
Yeah. Okay.
separate roads and the love remains unrequited forever. So that's what.
Nice. It's good pick. In fact, it was one of the songs that I had in mind for writing a story around and making it a part of HNS. But the right kind of story just didn't come to my mind at the time. Probably I will consider writing around it. And you have given me an idea now. Unrequited love would be a good theme to have. Okay.
Yes. My turn. So, oh
no, sorry.
Is it my
Your
turn?
turn.
Your turn. It's my
Your
turn.
turn.
I think
Yes,
so.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, okay. You have already written Embraces with ink after Heartstrings and Harmonies. So, H&H or Embraces with ink? If you have to pick one, which one and why?
My God, you have put me in a fix. With cross to my heart, I'm going to say Embraces in Ink because I've taken a chance here. And in the past few years, this is the first time that I've written a book without any sort of musical things, and it has no relation to music whatsoever. Like I have not even written. So it's a book where I've written letters to various people and things, showing my gratitude to them. And even while writing those letters, I have not written to Dear Music. So that's a thing that I'm really proud of. I took a chance on myself and also on my readers who are always expecting music to be a part of my stories and books. So yeah.
Okay, so hats
Music
off to
just be
you to
ready.
again take that risk going out of your comfort zone. So Embraces in Ink. Again, for those of you who are listening and you haven't yet read Embraces in Ink, please pick up that book. I haven't read it, but I intend to pick it up, Manali. Okay, and maybe we have another author collaborative this year itself.
We'll come to that. I
Also.
will take a commitment from you for that, but later.
Yes.
Okay.
First, my next book has to come out. Anyway, yeah, it's your turn.
Okay, my last question to you. The one story from Heartstrings and Harmonies you would have written differently, or you would change the song around it.
So it's again I would not say change the song, but I would again go with my favorite story, Don't Go Just Yet. The only thing different, so it's written largely from the male character's point of view, right? I would like to see the story rewritten from the viewpoint of Kritika. And
Yeah,
then
that's really
how does she feel, and in the end, how again the revelation and all, how does she take it? It would be an interesting thing for me to
yeah.
see.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, so
Your question.
yes, so my last question to you. So you have read all my four books. Two have been short story collection, two have been novels. So Smita the novelist or Smita the short story writer, if you were to pick only one, which one would you pick?
I mean, I like everything that you write, but I think I would pick the short story writer Smita, because just because it gives me a variety as a reader. Because many things are explored within that one single theme that you are trying to put together in a short story collection. So I would go with that. And also because, short story fiction, I can read faster than a novel. I'm that kind of a reader.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I also like writing short stories, just a little more than, and that's because I can finish it whenever I want. Novels take time,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
again, that's the
Lot
reason.
of patience and time. Novels take up a lot
Yes,
of patience and time, and we can get done faster with short stories. Totally
yes,
understand. Okay,
yes.
so Smita, I have started with a new section after my latest book, Embraces in Ink. The theme of that book is gratitude, and with my guests after that, I have been doing a gratitude bingo. I would love to do that with you. I will ask you a few questions, and you simply have to answer with a yes or no, or whether you have done it or not. Okay, let me just pull up the bingo here. Till that time, did we have any questions or remark that we missed addressing?
So
Yeah,
Varunika had mentioned that she hasn't read your book, but she has added it to your TBR, to her TBR
lovely.
list. So that's one remark I saw.
And I think she also appreciated you for coming up with characters that help send a positive message in the society. So,
Thank you,
I think
Varunika.
yes. Okay, so the gratitude bingo is here. First one: did a random act of kindness.
Can you come again? Can you just repeat that?
Did a random act of kindness.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. My random act. Do I have to also mention what random act or
Simply,
kind? No, just yes
simply
or
yes.
no.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes.
Okay. Next one: paid gratitude to an object.
Yes.
Okay. Next one: wrote a gratitude letter.
Yes.
Okay. Next one: said sorry in the last 24 hours.
No.
Okay.
Not in the
Next
last
one.
24 hours. So,
Okay.
so that's it. Hmm.
Next one: said thank you in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Next one: hugged someone in the last 24 hours.
No.
Time to do that.
Yes.
Next one: said something nice or paid a compliment to someone in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing that. Over the past hour only, we've been doing that a
Yes.
lot.
So,
Next one:
okay.
forgive someone who hurt you.
No.
No. Okay. Next one: help someone without any motive or expectations.
Yes.
Okay. Next one: gave someone a shout out in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Mhm. Next one: listen to someone with empathy and without judgment.
Yes. That one is easy. I'm a coach. I have coaching sessions every day. So
Yes.
my job entails that. So
Right. Okay. Next one: spent quiet time alone outside.
no, not outside.
Okay. Next one: did not complain a whole day.
No.
this
No.
this one always gets all the guests. They're like, oh my god, I complain so much. I see the light in their eyes going down. Shit, I complain so much.
Ah. Let me
Yeah.
put this question back to you.
No,
Again,
no,
did not
never.
complain.
In the
No.
no. I don't think this has happened in the past 4 5 years that I spent a day without complaining. It's
Hmm.
never. Okay, next one. Wrote three things you like about yourself.
My discipline,
Okay.
my consistency,
No, but
and
have you? No. Have you done this? Wrote three things that you like about yourself in the
Acha,
past.
okay, I thought you were asking me the three
No.
things. Have I wrote three things I like about myself? Yes.
Wonderful. Wrote three things you like about your parents.
No.
Okay, next
And
one.
that gives me food for thought. So,
Next one. Wrote three things you like about someone you envy.
no.
Okay, next one. No, wrote three things you like about a friend or a colleague.
Yes.
Wonderful. Next one. Helped, mentored, or shared knowledge with someone.
Yes.
I
Again,
understand.
part of my
That is
job
your
only.
job.
So,
Yes, exactly. Next one. Watched the sunset in the past month.
yes.
Lovely. Next one. Observed or appreciated nature and its elements.
Yes.
Great. Sat in the sunlight in the past week.
Yes.
Great. Oh my God, you are lucky. We have not had the sun for over a week now.
It's winters here, so when sunlight comes, it's like okay, it is some grace. So it's
So,
like Delhi
yeah, the
winters,
sun,
you know how it can be. So
yeah, the sun has not come out here in a week, so I understand this feeling totally. Next one. Turned or looked at a negative situation in a positive manner.
yes.
Great. Next one. Did something this month that you have been wanting to do for a long time.
Oh yes, this fact that I have been wanting to come to a
And
collaborative session with you for a long time.
great. Okay. And the last one. Took ownership or responsibility for your mistake.
Yes.
Great. You did exceedingly well on this, Smita. So I must congratulate you. The only no I can remember is did not complain the whole day and did not write anything about parents. Those are the
Uh,
only things I remember. No.
yeah.
Great.
So
Awesome.
now that I
Well
know
done.
you have this section, I know what to do before I come for your next collaborative, whenever that is.
Great. Yes. And before we wrap up, okay, I'm just going to read out a few comments. Yeah, Ananya was laughing at, I think, that one. Did not complain a whole day. Yes, Ananya, we all can relate to that. And Nilshri is saying, Manali, I will spend a non-complaint day before coming to the author collaborative. Yes, that's a good practice to follow. I think I should also do that.
Yes. For you, it
Yeah.
will be harder, but then it will become a habit because you do a collaborative every week, anyways. So at least that
Yes.
one day it can be a no complaint day because it's a
Exactly.
collaborative.
Yes. Okay, so gratitude bingo is over and we are about to wrap up. I ask this to almost all my guests, especially guests that I keep liking or inviting again and again, and the people I enjoy talking to. You have to tell us about your next book so that I can start scheduling the next session from now.
Okay, so my next book is again something out of my comfort zone. It's going to be a non-fiction,
Oh,
and it's going to be in the, I would say, I will not call it self-help, though many people may categorize it at that, but it's in the personal development space.
hmm.
So it's something, it's the first time. So I'm a writer, I'm a coach, but this book is something that directly weaves both of my loves together, both of my passions together. So my aim is to reach more people and give them guidance for something which I know that everyone struggles with, which is around communication. So I'm not giving out the title and everything, but the focus is on communication. And I'm hoping more and more people pick it up because I know that it will help people to overcome this struggle. And the idea of it came because as a coach, I see that most of the people who are coming to me, some either at the beginning or sometime, when they're working with me, this challenge always emerges.
Okay.
So, and some people in fact used to ask me, okay, we are learning from you, but where else can we find some written literature around it? And though there are many books, but I never found something that combines every element together in one place. So I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, if there is, if if there is no such book, let me write one and see
There is a
how
gap,
many
fill
people I
it.
can help
Yeah.
in the process.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what it is. I don't know whether this is up your alley or not. So, but let's see when it comes out
Like,
and
as I was mentioning earlier, my bigger motivation is to invite you to the show. So if if that is in the work, of course, if that is what is going to make you come again as a guest, I will of course read it.
thank you so much for that, and that touches me. And it's been such a pleasure, Manali. As you mentioned, 4 years in a row. Now I am not even feeling like a guest. I think, those people who have joined us, they could see it from, this
Yeah.
part of the conversation. So it's always, always a pleasure to get to meet you. I mean, otherwise we chat, but this is the time we are actually meet and talk about our books and just share our experiences as a writer. And I must say that for me personally, like when you reached out the first time, I was a newcomer. I was just a slice of life had come out, and you reached out, and the I know since you reached out to me, I'm sure you'll be reaching out to other new writers that emerge, along the way. It's not something that everyone does. So, I really appreciate that. And again, a collaborative week after week, month after month, year after year is not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you
there is a whole lot of good work that you are doing. And I want you to
for the
know that
appreciation.
because I know when we are doing something, life comes in the way. Some
Yeah.
days it's very difficult to show up because there are things that happen in the background. I just want you to know that like me there will be other people, other writers out there who appreciate all the good work you are doing, so
Thank you
continue
for
doing what you are.
vocalizing that. Thank you for vocalizing that. You sometimes you just need that one person telling you that you are appreciated for you to get the most motivation to go on. So thank you.
My pleasure, Manali.
And I look forward to having you again. Is this book coming out in 2025?
Yeah, should be.
Oh,
I mean, unless it goes to print, one can never say, but yeah, should be. It's early
okay.
days, but
Fingers
should be. From my side, everything is done. So now the ball is in the publisher's court. So
Okay, fingers crossed, and I look forward to hosting you again very soon. And thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. The episode will be available on my Instagram feed and my YouTube channel. Bye. Bye, Smita. Looking forward to having you again.
bye bye.
Bye.